My name is Thomas Chase, and I'm Interim President and Vice Chancellor of the University of Regina. I want to acknowledge that the university is situated in Treaty 4 territory with a presence in Treaty 6, the ancestral territory of the Cree, Saulteaux, Dakota, Lakota, and Nakota peoples, and the traditional homeland of the Métis. One highlight of Convocation, and a tradition I am delighted we are continuing for spring 2021 in our virtual format, is the awarding of honorary degrees. An honorary degree is the highest distinction the University of Regina can bestow, and its acceptance brings honor both to the recipient and to the institution. The University of Regina began awarding honorary degrees in the spring of 1965, when we were still known as the University of Saskatchewan Regina campus. The first recipient was the Right Honourable Lester Bowles Pearson, then Prime Minister of Canada. Dr. Pearson was the recipient of the 1957 Nobel Peace Prize, and someone who, through his public service, perfectly embodied what in 1974 would become our university motto, as one who serves. Since then, at each convocation, with the exception of spring and fall 2020 due to the COVID-19 pandemic, the university has conferred honorary degrees upon local, provincial, national, and international figures whose accomplishments and service to others are an inspiration to our graduating classes. Former Premier and father of Medicare Tommy Douglas, Saskatchewan Rough Rider legend and humanitarian George Reed, astronaut Roberta Bondar, and Lac La Ronge Indian Band Chief Tammy Cook-Searson. These are just some of the many inspiring people who over the decades have accepted honorary degrees from the University of Regina. And today, we add to that diverse and distinguished list. University of Regina alumni Carol Lafayette-Boyd is a candidate for the degree of Doctor of Laws Honoris Causa, which recognizes inspiring achievement as well as outstanding service to the community at large. I now ask Dr. Kathy Rock, Dean and Professor in the Faculty of Social Work, to present Ms. Lafayette-Boyd and to read her citation.
Thank you, Dr. Chase. I have the privilege to introduce Carol Lafayette-Boyd as today's honorary degree recipient. Carol Lafayette-Boyd was born in 1942 and first raised on a farm near Magee, Saskatchewan, in a large family of 7 siblings. The Lafayette family was the only African-Canadian family in the area. Carol's grandfather immigrated to Canada in 1906 from Iowa. Her mother's family immigrated to Canada in 1910 from Oklahoma. Her great-grandfather was a descendant of freed slaves in Virginia. And Carol moved to Regina at the age of 14 years. Miss Lafayette-Boyd began her career working as a psychiatric nurse in 1965 and believes this training and experience provided an excellent foundation for social work. In 1972, after spending some time in the US, she began working with the Saskatchewan Social Services in Regina in the area of income security. It was during this time that Ms. Lafayette-Boyd decided to pursue social work at the University of Regina. In 1977, she obtained her certificate in social work from the School of Social Work, and in 1986 graduated with her Bachelor of Social Work from the Faculty of Social Work. Ms. Lafayette-Boyd was an active member of the Saskatchewan Association of Social Workers for over 40 years. Throughout her social work career, she's counseled young mothers, supported youth involved in the justice system, supervised a foster care unit, and managed the Child Protection Program. This managerial position in child protection included setting agency policy, training of new social workers, and media relations, and was the position she enjoyed the most. It should be noted that this is one of the most difficult and challenging areas of social work practice. While training recent social work graduates, she always advised them to treat people with dignity and respect, as they will forgive you for any mistakes that you may make. Ms. Lafayette-Boyd never met a client she didn't like, even when faced with racist remarks hurled her way. She explained that you cannot take these remarks personally, as her parents taught her from a very young age that if anyone calls you a name, it's because they feel badly about themselves. Not taking things personally did not mean that Miss Lafayette-Boyd was not moved by the pain of the youth and the children that she encountered in her social work career. She recounted a story of a very challenging relationship with a youth incarcerated for a serious crime. The youth was continually hostile to Miss Lafayette-Boyd. When she left for another position, this youth wrote her a note thanking her for being kind. This gesture brought Miss Lafayette-Boyd to tears, that a young person would feel the need to be thankful for kindness. Treating everyone she encounters with dignity, respect, and kindness has been the guiding principles of her social work career and her life. Miss Lafayette-Boyd is an exemplary example of social work values and practice. At the age of 50, Miss Lafayette-Boyd decided to return to track and field, a sport that she excelled in during her high school years. She was inspired when the Canadian Masters game came to Regina in 1992, and she decided to enter 2 races. She won both. That was the beginning of an impressive athletic career where she has traveled the world to compete. As highlighted in the 2019 Spring-Summer University of Regina Degrees magazine, she has racked up a number of world records, including the world record in the indoor 200 meters, 3 Canadian outdoor age group records in the 4x100 meters, 4x400 meters, and 4x800 meters relays, and 2 in the indoor 4x200 meters relays. The proudest moment in her athletic career occurred in 2007, when she broke the world record for the 100-meter and 200-meter race in her age category, beating the world champion. In 2012, she was inducted into the Masters Athletic Hall of Fame, and in 2014, she was inducted into the Regina Sports Hall of Fame. In 2018, she broke world indoor records for the 600 meters long jump and triple jump, and also set a world outdoor mark in the 100 meters. In 2019, not surprisingly, she was named the best overall female athlete by the World's Masters Athletic. She is the first Canadian of African descent to have received this honor, and she plans to keep competing until she's 104. Upon her retirement from social work in 2005, Ms. Lafayette-Boyd has also kept busy with a number of volunteer activities and is currently the volunteer executive director of the Saskatchewan African Canadian Heritage Museum. In 2021, Ms. Lafayette-Boyd was awarded the Sovereign's Medal for Volunteers by the Governor-General of Canada. These accomplishments are even more amazing when you know the personal tragedy that Miss Lafayette-Boyd has endured. In the span of 3 years, she lost both her adult children and husband. Daughter Jackie in 2013, son Lester in 2014, and husband Lem of 31 years in 2015. She credits her deep faith in sustaining her during these dark times. Miss Lafayette-Boyd continues to find joy in her grandchildren, great-grandchildren, and extended family. A truly amazing woman and a role model for us all. Eminent Chancellor, I am honored to present to you Miss Carol Lafayette-Boyd and ask you to confer on her the degree Doctor of Laws, Honoris Causa.
Thank you, Dr. Rock. Hello, I am Pamela Klein, your Chancellor for the University of Regina. I am pleased by the virtue of the authority vested in me by the legislature of this province, with the consent of the Senate of this university. I consent to admit you to the degree of Doctor of Laws, Honoris Causa, and invest you with all the powers, rights, and privileges pertaining thereto. It now gives me great pleasure to present Dr. Carol Lafayette-Boyd, and I ask her to say a few words to our graduating students and the university community.
Thank you, Eminent Chancellor, President Chase and Dean Rock. Thank you, University of Regina, for this honor, and congratulations to the other recipients. This is a real honor. First, I thank God for this honor bestowed on me, and I give him all the glory. I really want to thank my family who are so important to me. I'm grateful that my dad, who was born here in Regina in 1907, and may have been the first child of African descent to be born in Regina, that he and my mom raised me to be a kind person. Although my husband Lem, daughter Jackie, and son Lester are no longer here with me, but definitely in my heart, I have 3 wonderful grandchildren, 3 lovely great-grandchildren, and 1 due in October. 6 surviving siblings, 16 surviving nieces and nephews, 37 grandnieces and nephews, and 21 great-grandnieces and nephews, and all of their partners and families, my husband Lem Boyd's family, my cousins, 1 aunt, my church family, and many friends with whom I wish to share this honor. Because of you, I am here today. So, who am I? I was a wife, mother, psychiatric nurse, and social worker. I am now, as a person of faith, a grandmother, sister, aunt, niece, cousin, an in-law, friend, and family genealogist. My goal is to keep our family connected. I am also a volunteer and master athlete. And I guess that is what has brought me here today to receive this honorary degree designation. I am so grateful for my upbringing on the farm. There, my mom, who passed away when I was 12, and my dad taught me to do unto others as you would have them do unto you. I lived unconditional love. And as we were always the only family of African descent in the areas we lived, our parents told us that if anyone called you a name, it was because they felt bad about themselves. They also said, if you can't say anything good about someone, don't say anything at all. And that has been a bit difficult lately. I attended a one-room schoolhouse, my first year of school, and my description of my time on the farm is it was just fun. Growing up in Rosetown was also a time of great memories, and a brother and cousins are still there. Attending training for psychiatric nursing was a wonderful learning experience. Although the chapter in my book I'm planning to write will be titled One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, as there were some really different experiences there. There I learned to not take things personal, that I was there to help patients, that it was not about me. I learned to accept patients as they were, to have self-understanding. The first 2 principles of psychiatric nursing I have never forgotten. The first one, patient accepted exactly as they are. And the second, self-understanding used as a therapeutic tool. Shortly after graduating from nursing, I lived in the United States. Now that was a total culture shock for me. There was no one there like me anywhere, at least in my mind. I think I'm still trying to sort that one out. What I remember most was how I felt when I crossed the border back into Canada. I wanted to get down and kiss the ground. I do love Regina, Saskatchewan, Canada. No place I would rather be. Joining social services and returning to get my degree here at the University of Regina is a time filled with opportunities and challenges to grow. I have been asked if I experienced racism. I suspect I did, but I saw those as opportunities and challenges. But mostly what I saw any time when I applied for a promotion and believed I was one of the most qualified for a job, but was not successful, it was because I was a female. Why I didn't take personal offense or discouragement was, number 1, because of my faith and knowing that God has a plan for me. And number 2, because I've seen so many women who were more educated, more experienced, more talented, and more competent than the men and sometimes women who were hired instead of them. I was not alone. I never felt it was about my abilities or lack thereof. Although my personal experience may have lacked racist treatment, racism is very real and active here in Canada. I reached the glass ceiling 9 years into my career and spent the next 24 years moving into different positions, of which I enjoyed very much, especially as a trainer, as I learned more than my trainees. What I am most grateful for is that had I moved higher in the organization, I do not think I would have retired as early as I did and would not have become a world champion masters track and field, remaining in great physical health and being involved in the volunteer work that has so enriched my life. And I guess I wouldn't be here today for this unbelievable recognition as an honorary degree of law's recipient. Now, I was asked to give advice to the graduating class. As a social worker, I preferred to give options. However, today I am going to give you some advice for you in the workplace. Be true to yourself as long as yourself is honest and kind. One issue with that might be that people may see you as weak, which did happen to me sometimes, only for the person having that belief to be unpleasantly surprised to see me stand up for myself. Bullies do not understand the concept of having a strong character, even when kind and non-judgmental. So know yourself, have self-understanding. Don't take things personally unless you did it, then fix it. So what I mean by that is if someone calls you a name, you can ignore it. But if you are accused of a mistake or doing something that was wrong, check it out. If you did it, fix it, apologize, do whatever you need to do to make it right. If it wasn't your mistake, realize what you're doing is what you believe to be true and do what you need to move on. See every challenge as an opportunity to grow. Whenever I found myself in a conflictual situation, I would say to myself, here is your opportunity to grow and to use and practice every skill you have ever learned. And sometimes I needed to draw on a lot of skills that I had in my repertoire. Treat others with dignity and respect at all times, no matter what. Walk in another person's shoes. That means have empathy. And if you, as a social worker, lack empathy, may I suggest doing something else rather than being in the helping profession. Have integrity. That means you can look at yourself in the mirror with pride. You will sleep well at night knowing you did the right thing, even though doing the right thing may have hard consequences. Walk in love and don't let anyone or anything steal your joy. Now, get out there and be and do the best you can be and do. Thank you. God bless everyone.